Hello everybody, it's been so long. Welcome back to my channel. There is an incredibly high chance that I have hot chocolate on my face somewhere, but I'm just living authentically, you know? Thank you. I've come to the realization that there's really probably never going to be a theme to the things I have to say on this channel, but that's okay, right? That's okay because I'm a lover and an appreciator of a wide variety of ideas and concepts. If it works for you, it works for me. And if it doesn't work for you, it still works for me, so we're good. In this particular video, I want to talk about something I learned in counseling October of last year that has dramatically changed my life. I got a new counselor within the last 6 months or so after years of not having one. And let's just say I knew things were not good up on the top floor of my body. So I was very grateful to have her. I needed her. One of the first questions she asked me, other than like my name and stuff, was what am I trying to get out of being here? You know, what's my point in being here? What's my goal? I remember that what I told her was that I feel like I have been just flailing through life and like I'm not anchored to anything. That doesn't mean that I practice total detachment from people or experiences. I just feel like I can't anchor to anything enough to not constantly feel like I'm flailing every day. Not even floating. Floating would be the nice equivalent, but violently flailing. And you know, I'm a very intentional person, a Virgo queen, if you will. And so it's to my surprise and to the surprise of pretty much everyone who knows me well that I don't feel anchored at all, despite the amount of intentionality I show up to my life with. And you know, it's like there's so many things that I have down. I've put time and effort into forming great relationships and actualizing a lot of really cool ideas and serving a lot of people and practicing important skills like vulnerability or humility, like, I don't know, insight and self-awareness and things that people say are rare, and yet I feel like I'm anchored to nothing and flailing all over, and I just didn't understand how that was possible. So, you know, my big question to her was, what am I doing wrong? And will this last forever? Because I really hope not. The great news was she knew exactly what I was doing wrong, and she probably wouldn't use a word like wrong to describe it, you know. But yeah, she listened to me talk about a lot of my biggest losses in life and the moments or chapters in which I felt like I was flailing the most. And she saw the trends, thank God, because normally I'm the one looking for the trends. I always say that I play the scientist and the lab rat, but of course there are some trends that I'm just not gonna see. Very grateful she stepped in and saw them. And so what she saw was that I was, you know, noble and effortful in my attempts to anchor to things, but I was anchoring to all the wrong things. And it's not the obvious things that you would think, you know, it's not social media or alcohol, or it's none of those things. It's things that I, you know, rather insightful person really thought were fair game and were strategic to be anchoring to. And so she got me fucked up. She blew my mind when she explained to me why certain things were not worth anchoring to, or why certain things would result in the shame spirals that I was feeling. The things that she saw me anchoring to were people, places, and projects. There's an overarching reason why anchoring to those things wasn't working for me. Who the fuck is texting me? It's my sister. Oh no. It's my sister talking about her skincare routine. Sisters who skincare. Yes. As I was saying, when you anchor to people, to places, or to projects, there are far too many variables. There are far too many variables, and I want to give you a little analogy that helped me understand this. Let's say that I am a balloon, right? And I want to anchor to something so that I feel stable. Anchoring to people, places, projects, or other things that have a ton of variables are like me as the balloon tying myself to a toy helicopter. That helicopter can go up and down, can go side to side, can go fast or slow, can go in circles, can go in straight lines, can nosedive, can fall to its oblivion, can do all of these things, and will do all of these things because that's the nature of a toy helicopter. And when the helicopter does that, it is living its purpose as a helicopter, you know, to move and change its pace, its direction, its speed, all of those things. But I, as the attached balloon, won't for 1 second feel stable because I attach to something whose nature is full of movement and change. So why would I feel stable? Can't get too mad at a helicopter for doing what helicopters do, but with that insight, it would make a lot more sense to anchor to something that doesn't have a million variables and whose purpose does not include a ton of movement and change. Like when I anchor to things that have so much movement and change to them, it doesn't minimize the feeling of flailing, which was my whole goal of anchoring to something in general. And I want to get into a little bit more detail on each of those subjects and give you an example of what that looks like for me, trying to anchor to people, trying to anchor to projects, and trying to anchor to places. So let's start with people. If I were to backtrack, look 10 years in history, I could tell you at any given point who I was anchoring to. I could tell you when I stopped anchoring to one person and started anchoring to another, and I could pinpoint the awful fucking heartbreak that I felt when I could no longer anchor to a specific person. You know, anchoring to those people at those times felt intuitive to me, and it made sense to me, you know, because we were relatively in the same location, we were in the same flow, maybe like good traditions between us, or sustainable traditions or practices, or we knew each other well, and we were playing an active and important role in each other's lives, each other's growth, each other's, I don't know, stability, you know what I mean? It made sense for me to feel like our relationship is steady and sustainable, so I'm going to anchor to it. But when those people, who are the helicopters in my analogy, took flight, changed their pace, changed their direction, changed their trajectory, changed their elevation, changed their speed, changed any of those things, I'm the balloon that's flailing now. And here's what I've gained from all of that, from discussing the concept of anchoring to people in counseling. You can't ask people not to change. Well, you can ask them. You can't expect people not to change. And you can't expect people to remain the versions of themselves that made you feel stable, and to prioritize that over living their authentic life, which includes changing and all the variables that come with being a human being. I can't expect people to do that. And when that clicked, I was like, God damn, you're right. It is a person's job first to be themselves, be who they are, and live their life. And it is their job second to assist you in creating your stability. And that, again, is only if the two of you are contracted in assisting each other. I realize that I cannot anchor myself to exactly who someone is right this second. I cannot bank on humans not having a lot of variables, nor should I want that. I don't want that for people. I don't want that for people that I love, and I don't want that for fucking strangers. I think it kind of sucks that we do a lot of that we ask people to be less dimensional and live less authentically so that you remain the version of you that makes me feel stable, and I remain the version of me that makes that person feel stable, and blah blah blah. Like, that's some exponential stagnancy. And you know, at the end of the day, there is a difference, a tangible difference between leaning on someone for support and attempting to anchor to someone for stability. Very different. Let's talk about places, okay? For anyone who bared witness to my social media over the last year or so, you probably noticed that I spent an outrageous amount of time on my roof. Roof kid for life. I love my roof. And just like with people, if I backtrack, I could tell you the location that I was anchored to at any given moment. Before it was my roof, it was the top floor of the Target parking garage across from my apartment building in Miami. Before it was that, it was the college campus that I went to. Before it was that, yada yada yada. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could backtrack this for a long time. This past September, when I moved into my new living situation, I was panicking with a side of panic and a panic cocktail on the rocks that I was living in a building without a roof. Well, it had a roof, but not a roof that I could go on. And it wasn't the roof that I had anchored to. And I didn't have a part of my house that made it easy to watch either the sunset or the sunrise. I was anchored to a roof, and I didn't have one now. Yeah, I was terrified that the foundation of my stability was gone, because I was anchored to a place that I couldn't live forever, even if I wanted to. And I would do myself a disservice to try and live an entire life in this little fucking apartment. But through talking about this concept of anchoring to places in counseling, I came to understand that there is a difference between loving and frequenting places and appreciating the peace or joy or whatever that they offer, and anchoring to a place as an illusion of a constant. Then we get into projects. This is a hard one for me, and this still requires a very large dose of vulnerability for me when I talk about it. I'm an idea person. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone, and I always expected ideas to be at the core of what gets me anywhere I want to be in life. I expected my ideas to bring me joy and bring me peace and make my money and connect me with my community and initiate the impact I'll have on this earth. And every other thing that I could ever want, I assumed that my ideas are at the core. So in my mind, my ideas and the projects that they evolve into would be the perfect thing to anchor to. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking anchoring to those projects will pull me forward in life towards the life that I want to be living and want to have. However, projects take the cake when it comes to the number of variables that we're talking. Other people, for starters. Then we have your mental health, your emotional health, your financial health, your capacity to contribute, your creative wellness, the fact that you still live a whole different life and you have other responsibilities outside of these projects, just a million variables. So for me, when I'm anchoring to a project and whatever I anchor to is supposed to bring me stability, this project needs to get done or I am not okay. I don't want to do that. Consciously, I don't want to do that. I don't want to wrap my okayness as a person up in if this project gets done or done on time or done well or done exactly how we planned or done this or done that. Like, I don't want to wrap my okayness as a person up in those things because variables come up. There are so many variables to projects, right? And just like I can't expect humans to become less dimensional and have less variables, I can't and don't want to ask that of projects, because to take a project that is capable of creating joy and community and impact and blah 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 and make it less dimensional is a disservice to the project, to me, to the people the project would impact. It's just a helicopter. Projects are just helicopters that I shouldn't be tying myself to as a balloon. For me to have gotten those projects done would have required a disgusting amount of shame tactics, motivating myself through shame. And that's something in general that I'm trying to move away from largely as a person and encourage people to move away from, is using shame to motivate action. If I had used shame to motivate action in myself and get that project done, the damage that the shame does would have outweighed the okayness that I earned through finishing the project anyway. Simple cost-benefit analysis, it's not worth it. Now that is like a simple emotional math equation. Through discussing the concept of anchoring to projects in counseling, I now understand that working hard to actualize an idea and get it out in the world is very different than anchoring to a project for your own stability and okayness and worthiness as a person. Very different. If you look across the board at anchoring to people, anchoring to places, anchoring to projects, that theme is motherfucking shame, to no one's surprise. When you anchor to people, shame ensues. For example, people change, but something inside you thinks it's because you weren't worth staying the same for. Shame. People take flight. They move. They change their pace. They change their direction. And something inside you questions your worthiness of relationships and access to community. Shame. There's also people everywhere who know that other people are anchored to them. There are a ton of people who are not taking flight, who are helicopters not being helicopters because they're worried about jeopardizing someone else's stability. When it comes to anchoring to places, you can shame spiral about that too. I had all these questions in my head about why the fuck do I only feel okay on the top floor of a Target parking garage? What am I gonna do when I live in a house with a fucking slanted roof? I have a grim future, you know? Like, those are the kind of things that can go on in your head if you're attached to a place. Why can't I find peace in other locations? Why don't I feel at home in the world? Am I an outcast? Am I dramatic? Am I entitled? Am I too sensitive? Am I a bunch of those words that people have used to describe me at one point or another in my life that are still all trapped inside of my subconscious somehow? Like, what the fuck? And when it comes to projects, you can shame spiral like you would not fucking believe. I'm the champion of that one, baby. Woo! A lot of my shame spirals sound like this. I'm not worthy of the good ideas that I have because I haven't done anything about them. And the ones that I've done something about, I haven't done enough about. What if they never get done? What if they get done by someone else and I lose my purpose in life? What if I never get anywhere in life because I never finish anything? Uh-oh, I included anyone else in my project that now I don't have the mental, emotional, and spiritual capacity to work on. You're not worthy of community. You're not worthy of supporters or collaborators or an audience or attention or help. Shame, shame, shame. Shame, 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 shame. Moral of the story here is that there's so much chaos and so much shame to be experienced when you anchor to things that have a million variables. When you, as a balloon, tie yourself to a toy helicopter. That was my major takeaway from my conversations in counseling. But as I'm sure you're asking on the flip side, if I can't anchor to people, I can't anchor to places, I can't anchor to projects, and you already took all the fucking nouns, what is left on earth to anchor to? And I do know the answer now because my counselor impressed this answer upon me and upon the way that I manage myself. So instead of anchoring to people, projects, places, or any of the other things that come with a fuck ton of variables. She instead encouraged me to anchor to routines, rituals, and resources. This is already a long video, so as soon as I can sit down again to explain what that looks like tangibly and practically, I will. I'll explain examples of the routines, the rituals, and the resources that I now anchor to, and I will tell you how different I feel. Thank you for watching. If you want to get notified when I post that follow-up video about rituals, routines, and resources, you can go ahead and subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and you will get a notification about when I post that video and all other videos in the future. Have the best night that you have the capacity to have.